What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Mr. Top Hat Jones here, aka Eric, and I want to talk to everyone today about the PS5 user experience, or I guess the user interface that was revealed today. So Sony put out a PlayStation blog post earlier today detailing some of the user experience and user interface features of the PlayStation 5. Now, this is something a lot of people have been waiting for. I know it's not a huge deal to most gamers, but I think it's kind of interesting because you do spend a lot of your time in the user interface on the console. I would like to see, what it has to offer, what's new, what's improved, stuff like that. Because as many of you know who use the PS4 user interface, that thing is slow sometimes. It can take a little bit to load what you want to load. Maybe go to your friends list and trophies, all that. It's pretty slow sometimes. Jumping into the news, first of all, I want to say it looks way better, way cleaner, and it looks like it works much faster. So already that's an improvement right there. Something they really harped on during this presentation was that everything can be accessed while in game. There's no more exiting the game, going to menus, just how it is in the PlayStation 4 user experience where you get a notification, you hit the PlayStation button, and it jumps you out of the game, suspending the game, and puts you into a separate menu. That's all gone. For example, your parties, your chat, friends list, trophies, all that stuff can be accessed through what they called a control center. Very futuristic sounding, I guess. And you can access all that through just pushing the PlayStation button. Now, when that comes up, there's a little bottom row that has everything you want, like I mentioned before, friends, parties, chats, all that stuff. Moving on to what I think is one of the more cool features of this user interface is something called Game Help. Now, Game Help would be akin to looking something up online, maybe through like Fextra Life, shout out to them, they do good work. So imagine you're stuck on like a boss or a puzzle or something like that, and you're like, oh man, I don't know how to get through this thing. So you can access Game Help, which I want to mention is for PlayStation Plus subscribers. So what you can do is you can put the hint, or in this case, what they showed with Sackboy: A Big Adventure, which is the game they were demoing the UI for. You can put the hint or the video help onto the side, onto the top of your screen. You can do a picture-in-picture mode. Now, all this can be done while you're in the game. There's no leaving the game to do anything. So you can have the video side by side with your game, showing you how to execute whatever thing you're trying to do, which I think is pretty cool because I want to be stuck into the game. I don't want to be leaving the game often to go look up a YouTube video or scrolling through articles and stuff like that. I don't really want to do that. So this is a very helpful feature that hopefully will work well, especially with Demon Souls around the corner, because, that's going to be tough boss fights and secret locations and stuff like that. So another thing that I wanted to talk about was something called activity cards that they really focused on. Now, this is a new feature where you can jump to specific parts of the game, like different missions, multiplayer, recently created screenshots or videos, which can be done through the create button. They didn't really touch on that too much, but it basically works so far, as we know, the same as the PlayStation 4 share button, clip a video, make a screenshot, share it out. I think there was a rumor where you can edit maybe some of your clips and apply different editing tools to it and then share it out. So that would be pretty cool. Hopefully they'll go into more detail about that later. So moving back to those activity cards that I mentioned, these can be personalized as well. So you can pin different things to your activity card menu, which also comes up when you hit the home button. Another thing you can do, like I said earlier, jump into specific parts of the mission, but it also gives you a little time tracker or a little progress tracker. So in the example they showed in Sackboy: A Big Adventure, it was going to one mission, it's like 30% done, let's say. And something they had was to find this objective, it'll take you maybe around 10-ish minutes to complete. So I like how it gives you more information right on the screen. So maybe you're running out of time, you're like, oh man, I gotta go work out, I gotta go dinner, whatever, gotta go see some people. So you can kind of manage your time that way with how long it'll take you to do this specific part of the game or mission. So I think that's pretty cool, kind of a change up there. All this can be done without leaving the game. I want to reiterate that. That's a common theme that they showed throughout this whole video of not leaving the game, not breaking your immersion from the game. So another thing that I wanted to touch on was how easy it was to join parties and to join voice chats. And they showed this with a little notification up in the right-hand corner. It said like such and such invites you to a party. Again, it'll work the same way. You'll push the PlayStation button. However, you won't get booted out of your game to go to a separate menu. It'll just come up on the side. You can hit join voice chat Boom, done. Easy. Another thing I wanted to touch on was the share play feature. So I know a lot of people don't really use this feature. I really haven't done it much either. Another improvement to this feature, however, which might spur people on to use it more, is that you can put your friends' games, whoever's in your chat showing off a game, you can put that in another picture-in-picture format so you can watch what they're doing while you're playing your own game. So say someone else has a new game. Maybe you're playing Spider-Man Miles Morales and someone has Demon Souls and you're like, yo man, let me check that out. Let me check out how it looks, how it runs, how it plays. So you can do that by having their game up in the corner and while playing your game. So that's pretty cool, all within the chat party. So you don't have to break voice chat or anything. You can still communicate with your friends. So really looking forward to that. Actually kind of bumps up that feature. Another feature that they really harped on was how fast everything loads up in the PS5 UI. You go to a specific part of the game. Let's say you want to jump into multiplayer. You can do that straight away from the game. You don't have to exit the game, go to the main menu, go to the multiplayer menu, select multiplayer, all that stuff. You don't have to do that. A card, or activity card, I should say, will come up and it'll say joinable pretty much. So the example they gave was Destruction All-Stars, which hopefully people, I guess, play and buy. I don't know. It's kind of getting lost in the shuffle with all these launch titles. The important part is, though, that you went from Sackboy: A Big Adventure, you just hit join on Destruction All-Stars, boots up the game, and I think they stated that it was a cold boot, so it wasn't like the game was maybe suspended beforehand and you jumped back into it. It was a cold boot, so you just boot it up right there from your current game, suspend your current game, go right into the new game, boom, you're right in there playing with your friends. So I really like that too. I don't have to waste time going through any menus, going through my friends list to see who's playing. All that information is given to you in these new activity cards, which I do like. I think it's a nifty feature that they're trying to have you spend more time in game and not in menus, which is very, very nice. So something else I wanted to touch on was the PlayStation Store, and my God, everyone knows how slow this PlayStation Store can move on PlayStation 4. So something new that they said was that it's integrated right into the system. So it's not a separate application. You don't have to open it up, close it down. You don't have to do any of that stuff. So you just tab right over to the PlayStation Store. It loads on the bottom kind of half of the screen, and then all your stuff is right there. They didn't really go into too much in depth on this, not much detail there. However, I think they will going on in the future. We'll look forward to that. Another thing I wanted to point out was that they have another Explore tab, which is right next to your kind of game menu, I would say. And this kind of acts like your news tab, your updates tab, stuff like that, keeping up with in the world of PlayStation, I guess, what studios are doing. I think you can customize this as well. I'm not sure, they didn't really mention that, but it would be cool if you could be like, oh, I follow, let's say, Demon Souls, Godfall, Spider-Man, and let's throw Sackboy back in there. So you'll get updates on all those games, all those studios, what they're working on. So that's kind of cool if you're into that. It sounds like PlayStation really wants to push you to be more involved with the platform, just having these Explore tabs right next to the game tabs. Now we can talk about media, which they didn't really talk about, but there was a quick glance when they showed the home screen, which is what you'll just boot right into once you turn your system on. And there's like a little game tab, and then there's a media tab right next to it. He didn't tab over to that tab. Unfortunately, I thought he would, to kind of show off how the media apps are all kind of laid out. But I like how it's separate tabs, so you know where you are. You're not skipping over tiles a lot on your home screen. You're not just holding right on the D-pad forever to go find something. It seems more compartmentalized and kind of separated, which I think is nice and makes it look cleaner as well. One of the last things I wanted to touch on was just the overall look of the UI. The icons look a little smaller when you jump into, let's say, or hover over, I should say, a game or some sort of application. The background changes to whatever you're hovering over, which I think, it's a nice touch. It's a little touch, but it's still kind of nice. And I guess with all the space down below, they'll show maybe streams going on, maybe your friends are playing. Maybe that'll be an easy way to kind of join into a game there, so you don't even have to launch the game. You can just go right to the menu, hover over the game, be like, oh, my two friends are playing this, cool, let me jump into their game. That looks pretty cool. I think they'll show more along the way. They said they would reveal more in the upcoming weeks, which, 3 weeks until launch, I guess? November 12th, maybe a little bit more than 3 weeks, so they don't have that much time to show off more stuff, but I still like that they're drip feeding us with information with new stuff here and there. So that's kind of the overall recap of the PlayStation 5 user experience, as they call it, or showing off the user interface. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I want to reiterate, we have a podcast that goes live every Friday on twitch.tv/FPSGuides. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern. So that's going to be tomorrow, actually, it'll go live. And we'll be talking about this information, talking about the new Spider-Man Miles Morales information that just dropped, maybe touch on the Assassin's Creed Valhalla information that also got recently previewed by different outlets. So stick with us and join us for the podcast tomorrow, again, Friday, 7 p.m., and we'll see you there. Thanks, everyone. Like and subscribe this video so we can keep doing this content. We're not just screaming into the void. And stay safe out there and play games, everybody. Have a good one.